Hello, Terriers. This is Scott Kull, your Robert D. Atkins, Director of Athletics, and I'm joined here today by two of our outstanding senior leaders, women's basketball player Rachael Rose and men's basketball player Corey Tripp. How are we doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having us.
I'm awesome as well. Thanks for having me.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for being such exemplary student athletes and serving the college so well. You know, it's just an honor to be here with you today. And honestly, this is why I got into college athletics, to serve student athletes such as yourself.
We would like to thank you for the effort you put in since you've been here. I mean, it's a tremendous. You can see the growth already, and I really appreciate that.
Well, thank you, Corey.
Of course.
It's easy with student athletes like you. So we'll start with you, Rachael. Had your first game. What'd you think?
I mean, it's always great when you start off with a win. Getting to see some of our players who were injured last year come back and some of our freshmen step out on the floor for the first time in a Wofford uniform. It was really great to see, and the energy and the environment here was just amazing as always.
Terrific. Was there anything that you did particularly well in the game?
Yeah, I thought we ran the floor really well. We pushed in transition, which was one of our goals going in, and just defensively I thought we locked in on our scout and did really well that way.
Terrific. Thank you. Corey, what about you? How'd it go for you, your first game?
It was awesome, especially starting this, last dance as a senior. It was great to get out there with the guys for this one last time. But I mean, as a team, defensively, our activity was great. Lots of deflections defensively, and then just moving the ball around offensively, which we've been preaching all summer and all preseason. So just to see those put into play and watch the growth we've made, it's just been sweet to see.
Well, we'll stay with you, Corey. You know, it's obvious when I watch and others watch, your leadership abilities. Where does that come from?
Just over the time, just adapting to things, new roles and new opportunities that you take, and that's one of them I was able to take on and accept that challenge, and just trying to learn and grow from other leaders before me or other leaders that inspire me. So that's yeah. Was
there anybody, as you were growing up that you looked up to, as a leader?
My favorite player, my greatest inspiration, probably LeBron. Just seeing him lead and always seeing him being so consistent and with his energy and how much he pours into his team. And then you hear his teammates always talk about him and how he was a student of the game and how much love he had for the game. So that kind of inspired me, just learning from guys like that, Kobe Bryant, his work ethic, just guys like that, greats like that.
Great. Amari, he said the same thing about LeBron James. So interesting. He set a great example, not just on the court, but off the court as well.
For sure.
Rachael, my first experience watching you play was at the SoCon tournament last year, and you were a little banged up, but played exceptionally well. But you're not only a leader on the floor, but I noticed you're also a leader on the bench during timeouts. Where did you learn that, or where does that come from?
Yeah, so that was a role Coach G gave me specifically this year, being a senior, and we're having a lot of new girls coming in. So I just wanted to set a good example, and I believe that setting examples kind of starts with how you do it and make sure you're doing everything right, so then everybody can kind of follow. So leading by example and working as hard as I can, and pushing through injuries and things like that to show that it's possible, and just our hard work will set us apart from other teams.
Was there anybody that you looked up to that?
Yeah, there's been a lot of professional athletes that I've obviously looked up to, but just playing here since I came in as a sophomore, and we had some really good leaders. Shout out to Lily Hatton. She was my teammate she always led so positively, and that's something that I've been trying to do my senior year here as well.
Well, just staying with you, Rachael, you transferred here from upstate, and of course this is your senior year. the team's preseason number one. You are preseason SoCon Player of the Year. You've won it twice.
Yeah.
I don't know if you imagined it would be like this, but what led you to Wofford?
Yeah, so when I got in the portal, Wofford was actually my first call, and I didn't really know much about Wofford, but it was 10 minutes away, so I wanted to come on a visit and see, and I immediately fell in love with the coaching staff and the team and just the facilities here. But I also saw Coach G's vision for what this program could be, and I wanted to play a role in making history and building a winning culture.
What advice would you give to a prospective student athlete that's considering Wofford?
I feel like that's a good question. You'll be safe here. Like, you're having people who are caring about you more than just an athlete. You're also a student. You're also a person. And you're going to be given every key to success here. So,
now that you're here, and we look around at this beautiful Jerry Richardson indoor stadium, I have to pinch myself every time I come in here. But is there, other than Jerry Richardson Indoor Stadium, is there another place on campus that's special to you or stood out or stands out?
I would say the Senior Village is like where we live right now. It's just, you don't see that at many other colleges, and it's really nice to just, take a walk, appreciate nature, appreciate all Wofford has to offer. But I just think that's a really pretty place on campus.
Great, thank you. Corey, how about you? Why did you choose Wofford?
So my situation was a little different. Obviously, I was getting recruited through COVID, so I didn't have an opportunity to go on a visit or anything like that. But just meeting the staff, seeing what they had to offer to me, and the guys that are already on the team and how they were coming off a winning culture and still trying to maintain that and just wanting a piece of that. That's what really influenced me to come here.
What advice would you give to a prospective student athlete who's considering Wofford?
Just stay down, stay consistent, and find joy in everything you do. I think that would be my greatest advice to anyone who's going through being an athlete. Like, your first couple of years here maybe not be what you want, or anywhere, not just at Wofford, but if you stay consistent with it and just continue to grow and learn and absorb that, those opportunities that you're hoping for when you commit to a school always come about.
Is there a place on campus that's special to you or that stands out?
I always like right in front of Old Main, looking out into seeing just a lot of all the school buildings and just seeing students walk and interact with each other. I think that's very nice to see. You always see colleges on movies and things like that, and it kind of reminds me of that type of nature.
Well, and you've had a big part of that after the storm. Both of you were out there picking up debris. I think we had 150 total student athletes that were out there. The whole football team, the whole men's and women's basketball team, volleyball was out there. How did you feel doing that?
Just appreciative, because you never know what happens. It happened so fast. The storm happened so fast that, and knowing if you're not in South Carolina or around this area, you don't know how greatly affected people were. But having the opportunity to clean up and help out others is just always a blessing in disguise.
What about you, Rachel?
Yeah, the Wofford community has done so much for us and supporting us in games, so it felt really nice to give back and help make this school be as pretty as can be.
What when you think about post-graduation, what would you like to do? What would be your ideal job?
I don't really know yet, but I'm a psychology major, and I'm thinking of going into sports psych. Yes. So I want to work with athletes. It's just something I've always been, and I think I have experience where I can help other athletes as well.
Oh, you definitely could, especially with what you've been through with injuries. And I know President Samhat has asked you a couple of times if you're going to apply to be a Rhodes Scholar. Have you thought about that anymore?
I really haven't, honestly. I'm focusing on basketball right now,
Yeah.
but I probably should be thinking about that, honestly.
Yeah. Well, and you'd be a tremendous candidate. For those who don't know, Rachel's not only a terrific player, but she's a 3.9 student, and that just even, makes it more
Thank you.
meaningful.
Thank you.
Yeah. Congratulations. What about you? What are you thinking about post-grad?
I want to continue playing basketball for as long as I can, whether that be in the States or over the waters. But it just brought me so many opportunities that I just can't give it up just yet. But I'm interested in real estate, things like that. Also, maybe even continuing to coach or something like that, just to give my knowledge that I've learned from the game and pass it on to younger generations. So try not to put all my eggs in one basket, but just venture off and do many things.
Is there something out there that that nobody would know about you? Something that's interesting, maybe an interest or?
Let's see here. I mean, I don't do too much. Like, I'm a pretty simple guy, but I mean, I like other sports. Like, I'm a big soccer fan. I love soccer, football as well. Like, I'm very involved with a lot of things. But keeping it simple at the same time. I don't know how to really describe it. But in a way, it's kind of funny to try to describe what I'm talking about. But like, I love to listen and learn. So just absorb everything and respect everyone's cultures and opinions and expressions, and just try to take whatever I can from a lot of people and make it involve it in my life as well.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Rachel, what about you? Is there something out there that no one would know about you?
Mine's not as deep as Corey's was, but I guess I love to sing. I'm not very good at it, and I don't get very many compliments on it. But I sing a lot with my team, and our team actually, we should be singers because we sing a lot as well.
Well, you should. What you think? Maybe you all could sing the national anthem at a game
I don't know if the
year?
fans would really want that, but but
Hey.
I would for sure be down.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great thing. We need to think about that.
Okay.
Do you do karaoke or anything?
Yeah, we have a karaoke machine in the locker room, so we sing
I might have
karaoke.
to add that in ours. I might have to put that in ours.
Are there any singers on the men's
You're a
team?
singer, aren't you?
Yeah, we got a lot of artists on our team. Sing, rap, hip hop, everything. We got some dancers too, so we're pretty versatile in that locker room as well. I definitely think we need to invest in a karaoke machine too. Yeah.
All right, Corey, here's a tough one for you. If you were to have dinner with one person, who would it be?
I don't want to say LeBron because I already brought him up. Shout out to LeBron though, but dead or alive?
Yeah, dead or alive.
Michael Jackson. Probably Michael Jackson. I bet he's got a lot of hidden information. He was such a powerful man in a different time and different time period than we all grew up in. So definitely just interested to see how he works, like the business aspect of his career and all the little tips and tricks he had to get himself to the mountaintop.
Yeah, that Thriller video is still one of my
It's
favorites.
a classic. You can't go wrong with the
No.
Thriller video. Can't go wrong with it.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure everyone knows how to Thriller for sure.
yeah, oh yeah. All right,
Show
Rachel,
us.
if you had one person to have dinner with, who would it be?
I would pick Pat Summitt, just because of the role she played in the growth of women's basketball. And, I've read a lot of her books. Coach Ashley is a big fan of her, and so usually gives me a lot of knowledge on her, and I would just like to kind of pick her brain and ask questions just about the game and about life and coaching and just taking the game to a whole other level.
She was just very intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
She'd give you that look, and she coached hard. But the one thing that really, struck me about her is she was always teaching.
Right.
There was always a message. She didn't just yell to yell.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Nick Saban, I think, is a lot like that, or was a lot like that. Always teaching, and that's, That's so important. Do you have a favorite teacher or professor on campus?
Oh, that's a great question. I'm just going to give a shout out to the psychology department. I've had pretty much all the professors there, and they've been great to me. They help me out with everything, and traveling gets hard at times when we're missing class, but they're always there to kind of fill us in, and they usually make class fun because they'll relate it to basketball, and they cater it because the classes are so small. They cater it to each individual person. So I would just give a shout out to the psychology department in general.
All right, go psychology department. Have you gotten them out to any games?
They have been. Dr. Nawaka was at our last one. I think so was Dr. Lefebvre. A lot of them were at the professor practice, so they show us support all the time. So it's easy to work hard for them.
For those of you who don't know, the women's basketball team has practice for professors. So they invite all of the professors on campus to come to a practice, and they recognize them, let them sit in the team huddle, and do a couple of other neat things. So that's great. All right, Corey, who's your favorite professor?
My favorite professor would have to be Dr. Carol Wilson. She's just so supportive of me since I've got here. She always believed in me, and I've had probably 2 or 3 classes with her, and every time, like she said, which a lot of professors do, they cater their classes to their students, which is very unique because we have so many small classrooms here. It's actually interesting to see, and that she brought up that point, I really agree with that. But yeah, Dr. Wilson is so supportive and just respects all of her students, regardless of their time and how they manage their time. She always shows respect, and she's always pleased with the growth of her students.
Now, you're from Medina, Ohio, which is near Cleveland.
Yes, sir.
Cleveland has a reputation of being tough. You're not only, or last year, not only the leading scorer, but you had to guard the best player on the other team as well. You got to be tough to play defense. It's a mentality. Did your upbringing in Cleveland, did it, lend itself to that?
Yeah. I wouldn't say I was always a defensive guy, but shout out to my high school coach, Coach Hassinger. He kind of brought that about. You know what I'm saying? He, as a freshman, he knew I had all the skills and intangibles to play varsity, but he knew I was lacking defensively. And if you want to get to that next level, that's what you have to do. You have to be an enforcer on defense. So learning from him and going through trials and tribulations with him, that's really what kind of birthed that mindset in me.
Switching gears on you a little bit, getting a little bit more personal, what's your favorite food?
Favorite food would have to be my mom's spaghetti, but I love like candy too, like Trolley gummy worms and Sour Patch Kids, Skittles. Like I'm a big like junkie when it comes to candy like that. Yeah.
What about you, Rachel?
My favorite
food?
Chips and queso.
I like that too.
Can't go wrong with that.
I thought you were hating.
No. I love chips and queso too.
Well, I've done all the asking all the questions. You have anything for me?
Oh, you had one.
I have actually questions for both of you, but I'll start with you. What was your first initial thoughts when you got to campus and you seen your first couple Wofford athletic games and interacted with the athletes? Well, what was your initial thought?
Well, the first time I came to campus, I hadn't been approached about this job yet. You see, I worked at TCU from 2005 to 2016, and Danny Morrison, who was the athletic director here from 85 to 97, he hired me at TCU. So from 2005 on, I heard about Wofford.
Right.
So I'm in Charlotte, and on Sundays I'd put the dogs in the car and I might do a day trip.
Yeah.
And so I drove over here and actually ran into Helen. She let me in here, and I left the dogs outside. I still have the photo. They're waiting outside the doors. And this was the first building that I saw. I hadn't even made it to campus yet. And I walked in here, and I could not believe it. I couldn't believe how nice, the attention to detail. And I can honestly say, because I've worked at a number of places and worked in every Power Four conference. This is the nicest arena I've ever been in. So, I mean, that really struck me. But I spent almost 3 hours and almost 4 hours walking this campus and trying to get into buildings, and it was just, the grounds were just immaculate. The buildings, and quite frankly, all of the athletic facilities were really, really nice. And then once I got here, just talking to the student athletes, I was just amazed at how attentive they were, how articulate they were, just smart, and I went to a small private liberal arts Methodist college, was a non-scholarship student athlete, and just being here and feeling like I was giving back was just really, really special. So those were my first impressions. Yeah.
And then for Rachael, since you've been here, you guys got a lot of preseason ranked number ones. You even got a conference. You guys are number one in the conference. What was that, your sophomore year? Our sophomore year, or?
Yeah, sophomore.
And 2 Player of the Years, Naismith Player of the Year nominee. So, like, how do you think you're gonna take your team to that mountaintop and really get that goal, which is to go dancing that me and you both want?
Well, like the preseason honors and everything, it was great, and we're honored to have it, but it really doesn't mean anything. And so that's like kind of our motivation. Like, we're honored to get it, but we're hungry because we have a chance to receive it. But we're also, we're expecting teams to play their best games against us because we're a target. So, just making sure we're working hard every single day, and we're only going to get better from here if we keep doing that. So a lot of potential for us.
Sure.
Yeah.
Do you feel any pressure being number one, preseason number one? Would you rather be number 2 or?
Not really. Just because our coaches emphasize, like, don't even pay attention to it, and we really haven't even talked about it since it came out. So we're just playing our game. We're going to continue to get better each day in practice, and hopefully that shows during the games.
Terrific. Let's talk a little bit about the student-athlete experience here at Wofford. I'd really like to know what you like and where we can improve, what the opportunities are to improve.
Yeah, I think at Wofford it's a great opportunity for people to come here because you're not only getting to play your sport at the Division I level and compete against, like, we play the South Carolina, who has been number 1 in the country. You compete against the best of the best, but then you also get a high-quality education, and you get set up for if you want to go to graduate school or you just want to go right into work. Your professors and your coaches, everybody's looking out for you because they want you to be the best you can be, both on the court and off the court. And so I think Wofford does a great job at that.
I also say, like, the underdog mentality that Wofford always has is, like, every year you see a Wofford team, whether it be football or basketball, knocking off one of those top power schools, and you see on the media, oh, who's Wofford? But, we've built respect over the years, and I just love to see it. And then from, like, a student standpoint, just the community. Like, it's so enclosed, like, everyone is a fan of you, like, you have a good game, everyone on campus is thanking you and supporting you. It's so supportive here. It's just a small community that's really enclosed together.
Is there anything that comes to mind that we could do better?
I feel like just continue to grow the fan base, and then just try to help the athletes, you know what I'm saying, obviously look out for each other in the next steps of life, whether that be continue playing or just having a regular job. And also, like, maybe, like, opening up some more food centers or something for students to grab a quick bite to eat, or after a lift, head into class, like a little market you can go to and just be able to grab some protein and your what you need to hydrate and things like that. I think that would be awesome to open something up like that at Wofford. And I think we're very, very capable of doing that.
What do you think? It's interesting you said that because we've talked about this. You know, you work out here, and then you've got to walk down Cumming Street towards campus to
Right.
class, right? And you're familiar with the Joe Taylor building where the weight room is?
Yeah, right up here. Yep.
Yeah. What if, you know, that entryway right off of Cumming Street, right outside the weight room, we put in a fueling station so that you could, we had some grab and go there, whether it's yogurt, vegetables, or protein, but you could also get a made-to-order
I think
smoothie.
Yeah, I think that would be awesome, and I think that would go a long way. Something so small like that, but it's building your athletes' health, even maybe their mental health, being able to interact with other students while they're in and out there. Just, I think it would be awesome.
You touched a little bit on the fan base, you know, and obviously that's really, really important. The students drive the
Right.
atmosphere in
Yeah.
any arena, so that's an opportunity here. But I'd also like to mention that we've added 10 additional floor seats
For sure.
right down here
Yep.
on this end, which I think is a great opportunity to put more people around the court,
Yeah.
create a little bit more
Yeah, of course,
environment.
we got to do our part as well and win games, and that'll also put fans in the seats. So we play a part just as much as you guys are.
Terrific. Rachel, what is there anything that you think we could do better?
Yeah, I would just agree with Corey in the fact that like nutrition is huge within athletes and non-athletes as well. It's like a fueling station outside the weight room, like for smoothies, protein shakes, whatever. Like that would, I think, really be beneficial. Both, and you can see those like effects on and off the court. And then I just think Wofford's doing a great job because women's sports, women's basketball in general is growing, and I think we have to continue to grow with it because a lot of changes are being made, and I think we need to be open to that as well.
Yeah, you know, the Caitlin Clark's obviously had a big influence, you know. Post Caitlin Clark, she's now playing in the WNBA. You could be that person. I mean, heck, your stat line was last year, I think, was as good as hers, maybe point.
I don't know, that good, yeah.
Well, it was pretty, yeah, very impressive. Do you think women's basketball, college basketball, needs another Caitlin Clark, or do you think it's going to grow by itself?
Yeah, I think Caitlin Clark set the standard of how it should be, and she continuously gives credit to players who came before her and how they grew the game. But I think it's going to continue to grow because, you know, maybe not on an individual level, but maybe as a team level. Like, basketball just looks so good right now, and, you know, I know it just started on Monday, but the viewings and the ratings are already up, and it's just really exciting to see, and hopefully, you know, for women's games, we can pack the place out here as well, see change that way.
Well, I think you'll definitely see it at South Carolina, the impact that Dawn Staley has had down there. What excites you about playing there?
It's always been a dream to play there, and I'm a big fan of Dawn Staley. You know, she's from Pennsylvania, and so she's an Eagles fan. She talks about Philly a lot, and so there's just a toughness that comes when you think about Pennsylvania or Philly, and you know, so I've just always been excited to, you know, play against her. Maybe say hi after the game, you know.
That will be great for you, for the listeners and those watching. I asked Rachael if she was a Steelers fan, and she said her dad was a Steelers fan, but her mom was a Philadelphia Eagles fan. The whole family, she's got 4 siblings, and they all sided with the mom, so they're all Eagles fans. So you've got 4 siblings. Where are you in the?
I'm number 4 or 5.
You're number 4 or 5. How was that growing up? 5 of you.
It was always busy. I always had a rebounder, which is nice. It was usually my little brother, my older sister. They were always rebounding for me if my dad couldn't. And, you know, we had a lot of 2v2 games in the back that, you know, that's probably where I got some of my toughness from, just, you know, playing against the guys and just taking some pretty hard hits and just having to suck it up and keep playing. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, I see that for sure. Well, I think our time is winding down, but I want to give you the opportunity to ask any additional questions if you'd like. Anything and everything is open game.
I got it.
Oh my.
This might be controversial, but favorite sports team on campus?
Favorite sports team on campus? Oh gosh, I can't answer that.
Yes, you know the right answer. You know the right answer.
Favorite sports team? Well, I played everything growing up, and played football, basketball, baseball, and track in high school, and then football and track in college. I can honestly say that I loved football games the most. I loved playing football games the most. But in terms of practicing, I loved basketball practice. I really did. And so
women's basketball is the answer.
Women's basketball. And men's basketball.
Shout out to
Yeah.
I got one question. It's kind of the same thing a little bit. If you were a coach, what would be one sport you would like to coach the most?
Question.
Or you feel like you had the most success in coaching?
Probably basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I would say.
Why do you think that?
Just because I probably know the most about it, and it's 2 hours.
Yeah.
Pretty.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I honestly, in my experience, student athletes look forward to basketball practice.
Yeah. It's fun.
And you have instant gratification, with making shots.
Right.
Yeah. It either goes in or it doesn't, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I like that answer.
It's fast, too.
Intensity high, yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, being in athletics, I've learned more from coaches, certainly, than they've learned from me. And
Right.
I've been sports supervisor for a number of different programs. But, with basketball, things happen so fast that, it's nice to just be able to say, hey, next play mentality.
Right.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Have fun,
Yeah.
because you guys know what you did wrong,
Yeah. You don't have much time to think out there. You kind of just all instinct based and just repetition that you've been repping in practice like you talked about. So.
And you can turn it around quick.
Yeah.
If you're down 10, boom, with the 3, you can get right back.
Literally.
And the crowd gets into it, and momentum is so big in sports.
Yeah, it's very fast paced.
Yeah.
Awesome. Do you have any more?
That's all I got.
That's all you got. You guys were easy. Well, listen, you don't come back until December 1st, right? You go on the road for 7 games.
Yeah, we have seven straight on the road. Road Warriors.
And
Rachel, you've got the Saturday. You're at
we're
Central.
at Central, and then we're at Kentucky on Tuesday.
You got a lot of high major games this year. How do you feel about most of them? I know we talked about South Carolina a little bit, but getting to see all those arenas and the different atmospheres compared to Wofford.
Yeah, so we play Duke and we play Kentucky. So those are both really cool historical places to play at, specifically at Cameron at Duke. So we're really excited to kind of show them who Wofford is. I feel like a lot of times we go to places and nobody even knows how to pronounce our school. They say like Wofford or a lot. So, just kind of showing them that we're going to put up a fight. And, it's not going to be easy. So, yeah.
Great. Well, we'll go ahead and wind this down. This has been From the Athletic Director's Desk. I'm Scott Kull, and I've been here with Rachael Rose and Corey Tripp. And so long until the next podcast. Thank you all.
Go Terriers.
Go Terriers.
Go Terriers.